We now return to the I Am Real Estate Show, brought to you by Ray Smith and Sandra Johnson with Indy Realty.
We're back. Ray Smith, Sandra Johnson, Danielle Johnson, Johnson Smith team, Indy Realty, talking with Don Geisler, CEO, designated broker, Indy Realty.
Somebody stop that man.
It does not get any better than that. That's so
I
good.
will interrupt and take over. So, I heard something recently about a situation where there was a first-time homebuyer who was trying to save some money, and she didn't want to get all of her inspections done. And so she did do a regular home inspection, just a general, but then she chose not to do any extra home inspections. She bought the house. Everything seemed fine. And about a week after she bought it, she ended up having some sewer problems and had sewage backing up into her house. And all of a sudden, she's looking at it going, how do I not know there's a problem? I got a home inspection done, but she did not get a sewer inspection. And I mean, by the way, she didn't get all of these other extra inspections beyond just the general. And I think that she just didn't have any idea what the importance was of all these inspections, because there are many inspections that we would recommend to have done, not just one home inspection.
Yeah, and I think there's kind of a lot to unpack here that we could touch on. And number one is getting the inspections themselves, and then number two is potential recourse after the sale. I think these are two things that we should discuss a little bit. And I can tell you that for me, the sewer line inspection, the sewer scope, I've been beating this drum for a while now. For me, it has become something that I think that we should recommend in every case as standard. And the reason is because it is so common. And I don't know if it's the whole world. I mean, I just know the Tucson market inside and out, and I don't know the rest of the world, right? But I know that plumbing issues with root, penetrations and stuff like that are so common in our area, and buyers are not aware that you can have that inspected. And it's $260 was the last one I did. But the issue with that is not only is the root penetration into the sewer line super common, it's not covered by home warranty policies. It's not covered by the city, when you get outside of the house, between the house and the street, and it is often really expensive. When they fail, we can be talking $30,000.
So, as agents, we often share information. We share these stories about things that have gone wrong. And I know our instinct is, definitely when you have an older home, we know that a lot of times they have cast iron pipes, which would be more likely to have the root penetrations. We also know that sometimes we have clay pipes that sometimes will outlast the cast iron. And that's kind of a no-brainer that, yes, we recommend that you have that scoped. But we also have talked to agents who've had brand new construction where the sewer was never hooked up, and that would only have gotten noticed by having that sewer inspection done. And then another case that I remember someone talking about was where there had been a section of ground that literally dropped and disconnected those lines. So again, you think about it, well, the house has been here for a while and that everything would be fine. But unless you look, there's just no way to be confident of that.
There's not. And like I said, it can be a really, really expensive fix,
I had a story about a guy who, one of my clients, we would look at a house and we're doing inspections. And so the roof inspection we were thinking about doing, but the roof had already been done. It was under warranty. And so he was like, well, let's not do the roof inspection. I said, you know what? If you had someone come out, it's not free. If it's already been warranted, it's an extra $50 to get it done. I said, if you're not going to do it, we need to sit back and really think about paying the $50. He said, okay, I'll pay it. We go and do the roof inspection, and the roof work was not up to par. And so the people had to come out and re-roof it, refix it, and then give him the brand new warranty. So he paid $50 instead of paying $12,000. And from that point on, I told everyone the 4 things that I always ask, I always do, this is from my wife, is home, roof, termite, sewer. I don't know anything else. Those 4 I always ask. And some people ask, why not the HVAC? And the way it was explained to me is that when your home inspector goes out there and he has any kind of concern about the HVAC, then it's your time to go get an HVAC inspection. I think that's the philosophy that I've been going with. I hope I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
On the radio.
Yeah. No, we consider your general home inspector like going to your primary care physician. They'll do a basic, look at the house, and if they see a problem, they will send you to the specialist. And so a lot of times we do see recommendations to have the HVAC system checked out by someone else, or if there's a problem with the electric panel, they may recommend, that you have an electrician come out. There were fire, what are they called, Zinco or Federal Pacific electric panels that most inspectors are going to tell you really need to get a quote to have this replaced. Sometimes an electrician will come out and say, you know what, it actually is in good shape and it's working great, but they have a high failure rate. You really can't determine that yourself or your home inspector. You need someone who's qualified to look at that. So I probably told you that, Raymond, so I have to agree with you.
Yeah. I would just kind of close this out by saying, the inspection process is not the time to try to save small dollars.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really not. And then when we talk about, the actual recourse, if we have a $30,000 thing that happens right after closing and the buyer had the opportunity to get all their inspections and at several junctures along the way, they kind of affirm, I've gotten all the inspections I want, I'm good to go. And then they may not have any recourse after it closes, except if their agent didn't make them aware of the fact these type of inspections exist. And so it's really important that we allow the client, the buyer, to make the decision. Give them all the information, tell them all the inspections they can get, and then let them decide what's important to them and have them acknowledge, that they've done it, because just puts everybody in a bad situation, and we don't want to be sitting there with a $30,000 hot potato.
No, we do not. And we've been focused a lot on the physical inspection of the house, but just to remind people too that 10 days or whatever allotted time that you have in your contract is time for you to look at things like crime statistics and school districts. And, I always tell my clients to go hang out on the weekends and see, if your next door neighbor's throwing parties every night or things that are important to you, whatever it is that's important to you. Doesn't have to be about the physical inspection of the home. This is your opportunity.
Find us on Facebook and YouTube at I Am Real Estate Show. You can also find our website and find our personal pages. We would love to connect with you all on a personal level.
Wonderfully said.